What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Whole Views, and today we have a different type of video. We're going to be discussing Afghanistan. This is not my regular content at all. Normally I do Firearms Friday and I do movie stuff, but I figured it's time for me to jump into the ring in this regard because there is a very cool movie connection that I want to make here. And even though this video might be titled Afghanistan Explained, I'm not really here to explain Afghanistan to you. I'm here to give you a broad general picture and then give you a very good movie recommendation, which will also explain everything. So hopefully I do a good enough job to earn your subscription. So if I do, please use the pinky, swipe up, press that subscribe button, give your boy a follow here on the channel, and it will be deeply appreciated. Getting into the overall picture and idea of what happened, I'm gonna go back to about the 1970s and then move forward as fast as I can. In the 1970s, the Russians were invading the Afghan country, and they had conflict occurring between those two nations, and America was still enthralled in its Cold War against Russia. So under the guise of killing Russians, the Americans went in, armed a group called the Mujahideen, trained those guys, and helped those guys to defeat and repel the Russians throughout the 1980s. In less than 10 years time of that conflict kind of dying down and ending, we see retaliation from that group, or people in that group, under a different name, better known as Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. They attacked the World Trade Centers in the early 90s. Then another 10-year span, they attacked again during 9/11. And then you see the war against Afghanistan and Iraq be launched in the early 2000s, which brings us up to the ending of the entire conflict that we just saw unfold this week. That is a very fast rundown, but it is a pretty accurate look at everything that took place. The real reason I came here is to give you an entertaining way to educate yourself. So I'm a movie guy, I primarily do movies, and Charlie Wilson's War, starring Tom Hanks, is probably the best, most comprehensive, entertaining way to learn about the things that you've seen unfold, and the motivations behind those things are, to me as an audience member, they were crystal clear as to why we have conflict with people in that part of the world. The movie intricately details our reasons for being involved there, all the ways that we help to, the sneaky backhanded ways that we help to arm that group, the Mujahideen, the way that our CIA went in and helped to train these guys, even the early hints at a motivation for retaliation because of the way that we handled the ending of that conflict. It basically boils down to, we never helped those guys to rebuild after we helped them destroy. We helped them to repel the Russians, but we never built roads, we never built schools, we never built bridges, we never did anything to really invest in the infrastructure of a country, because our motivation was less than pure. I think that movie is a picture of American diplomacy at its finest and at its worst, because we get to see how we get ourselves involved in things, as well as the backlash that we get when we don't follow through with other people's expectations of us. I will also add that if you watch Charlie Wilson's War, or if you have a full understanding of this stuff and you watch other popular films, it helps those films to make more sense, knowing the context of those relationships. I think specifically to Rambo 3, The Kingdom with Jamie Foxx, that's another one. A Matt Damon film, I believe it's called Green Zone. Like all those, like maybe even The Hurt Locker, like all those movies kind of get brought into more focus once you fully understand the conflict. So if what I did was too fast for you, or even if it wasn't, go back and check out Charlie Wilson's War if you haven't already. It's one of my old favorites, and truly I don't remember the context. I watched this in the Blockbuster days years and years ago when I was working there, so I imagined it may have some R-rated parts. I don't know. I don't know if it's good for children. I don't know if it's good to show in schools or classrooms or anything like that, but I do know it's very detailed about American involvement, American motivation, the group that we helped, and how that group possibly, more than likely, transformed into Taliban, Al-Qaeda, and why those groups were led to attack us in the years that followed. Us being America, not, you know, me. Again, I find all this stuff to be very interesting. Again, not a full-blown explanation of everything, but a very, very solid recommendation in Charlie Wilson's War. If you agree, please leave a comment. If you have any other thoughts that you would like to add, please do. I just want to leave you with this. The one rumor that I've heard coming out of the whole Afghanistan situation is that there's hope for the future, because this Taliban may not be the same Taliban of 20 years ago or 30 years ago or 40 years ago. It's new leadership, it's new people, it's different, right? So you can be hopeful in that. But if you can't be hopeful in just the words of a promise, you can be hopeful in these images. Look at this. Like, I never in my life would have imagined that this is the actual Taliban. And this is not music that someone laid over. This is actual original audio. I can't believe it. I can't believe like these guys have become that westernized that they know our music and they dance and it's like, wow, that's weird. Maybe they aren't the same guys, but only time will tell those things. We can only sit back and watch, or maybe you're not interested at all. Who knows? Anyway, I probably won't do any type of follow-up to this. It's just a recommendation I'm throwing out there. Just my brief, quick explanation. Watch Charlie Wilson's War if you want to see something more entertaining and more detailed. And that's all I have. So enjoy yourself, guard your heart, come back, check out more videos.